Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Rhode Island. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, we're going to have a lot for you today. It's a Remember Wednesday presented by Fayetteville Fly Co. We'll have some fun with that. We'll also get into a lot of things that we saw at Razorback basketball practice today. Hear from Coach Cal, what he had to say getting ready for the game against Kansas tomorrow in the NCAA Tournament. And we'll do a few other segments, not only a question of the day presented by Alumni Hall, but also get into one of our new sponsors that we're really excited about. But, guys, how we feeling here? I know it's a little bit in the afternoon just again, folks, but because of practice and scheduling, it was something that had to be done. But how we feeling today, this afternoon?
I mean, I couldn't feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally could not feel better than I do right now. I mean, we just got to spend the entire afternoon in the dunk. I'm calling it the dunk. I'm not calling it Amica Mutual Pavilion or whatever they changed the name to, with the Razorbacks. It's March Madness. You get to hang out with the Hogs all day. It doesn't really get any better than that. My vibes were already high. We've coined this as Vibes Day here, the day before the NCAA tournament games actually start. And Arkansas passed the vibe test with flying colors today. So really loved everything I saw. And admittedly, it would be hard for me not to do that because it's basketball related. But I'm picking up what the Hogs are putting down right today.
It's definitely hard not to get excited. Like this whole day is designed to kind of get you to fall in love with your team, which is, of course, what we do all the time. And we were already in love with this team long ago, but my vibes are great. My vibes are through the roof. I'm enjoying Providence maybe a little bit more than I thought.
Better than yesterday.
Yeah, a lot better than yesterday for sure. But I just like the vibe of the downtown area in Providence. And now that we've been over, because yesterday when we were doing this, we really hadn't been around the arena or anything in downtown Providence. Couldn't really speak to it. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing just from a vibe standpoint for sure. I think, can we confirm that Arkansas won Vibe Day so far? Yeah. I mean, we weren't,
they did win Vibe Day.
Who knows? I mean, who knows what St. John's had going on because nobody was there to watch it, but it just felt like Arkansas won.
Well, I will tell you what was the selling point for me on Arkansas winning Vibe Day, and it was good anyway. I just felt better about what I saw from Arkansas than what I saw from Kansas. And I'll say this. I wasn't struck by Kansas where I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. I don't like this. They were fine. It was whatever. But I was really impressed with Arkansas's energy. They were super enthusiastic out there. They were lighthearted. There was no lemon booty going on.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of practice, every team does something a little bit different to wrap up practices. Arkansas does the half court shots, right? And so Calipari just grabs a basketball. And he's like, "Oh, everybody at half court," and he takes a half court shot, airballs it, whatever. All the coaches miss. Big Z eventually makes one, and they dogpile him. The team tackles him, and it was cool, man. They were fired up. Kansas, what they did at the end of their practice is a little bit different, where they take everybody on the team and all the coaches, and they spread them from half court all the way down to under the basket, as if it's the lane or hash marks on a football field. And they pick a guy who's got to sprint down that thing, and then he's supposed to do a crazy dunk or whatever. And so they did that, and the guy they picked just rim stuffed. just absolutely rim stuffed it. And it was not so good. They lost Vibes Day at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. It was almost like when he got stuffed by the rim there too. Everyone kind of went, oh, as in hey, that would have been really cool if you made it, but you didn't. But we still got to react to keep it positive and everything. It was just a very uncomfortable deal. But you're right. The excitement level, the energy level, being in the locker room there and seeing all the players interact. We just posted a bit ago of our interviews that we had with some of the players and Inside Arkansas, inside the locker room. And, it's almost like some of it got so loud because everybody's hooting and hollering around and jumping on each other and throwing each other around. They're just very chill. It's very nice. It's the type of vibe that you want to have for a team that's in the NCAA tournament. Not like they're not focused in. I don't mean it to sound like that, but you're talking about a team that's got to be, and you would think, mentally exhausted from all the season and where they're at. They didn't come across as a team that's mentally exhausted. They didn't come across as a team that was, oh gosh, we were just hoping we could do something here because we're dying over here. It didn't come across that way at all. It was a team that felt confident, that felt loose, that felt like, hey, we're going to come in here, we're going to do something. It doesn't mean anything on the scoreboard, but it does mean something here on the day before because we want to see that team. We want to see that team be excited, and it seemed like they're pretty excited to get going.
I see people talk about pressure all the time, and I think, Curtis, you must have said something. I like to read through our YouTube comments all the time. I'm just a glutton for punishment, so I love it. But I think Curtis said something about Arkansas kind of coming into this with no pressure, and I agree. And I remember someone getting really offended by that, and it made me think. I'm like, damn, is there like a lot of pressure on Arkansas here? You definitely don't get that vibe, right? With this team, you could actually make an argument. Maybe too loose. Maybe tighten up a little bit. But I want to ask you guys, because y'all are the experts. Y'all are the NCAA tourney veterans. I'm just a little new puppy here who thinks everything is awesome and wants to play with all the toys. But I'm trying myself not to like fall into the trap of just being here and loving the vibes, because it's pregame. It's easy to love this. How does this compare to y'all's past tournament experiences, being in those locker rooms? Because like you said, there's a ton of different vibes you can get in a locker room. I remember Scotty all the time used to talk about how bad of a vibe he got in the 2018 College World Series locker room. Does this compare positively, similar? Like, does it remind you of any of these past years?
I recorded the pod at the Palace that'll go out in the morning after we wrapped everything up, and I said, and I promise I'm not doing the prisoner of the moment thing at all. Best vibes that I've felt on the media day at the NCAA tournament for Arkansas. Now, the first year when they beat, Texas Tech and Oral Roberts and all those teams, we didn't get locked. It was post-COVID, so like we weren't allowed to be in there for that. But the next season, I didn't feel those vibes. The year with Anthony Black and those guys, it was awkward, man, and it was they were just kind of trending in a different direction. I didn't feel that strongly about it then. I just felt really bad about what I saw from Illinois. Last year, we went to the SEC tournament. Scotty and I were in there. They beat Vanderbilt on the first day, and they were more bummed out after that game than they were when they lost and ended their season to South Carolina the next day. It was really good to be in there, and you had no idea what to expect because they keep us away from these guys so much. And I'm not just talking us like inside Arkansas, but like we don't get that much access to the players, the team. They'll put one guy on the podium after a game or something, but we haven't had pre-games. We haven't been out to practices, so you had no idea. But I was really struck in the locker room with how together those guys seem. They genuinely like to be around each other. There wasn't anybody hiding in lockers behind whiteboards to not get interviewed by the media like there were on previous teams. It was cool. Everybody was interactive. It got so loud while we were interviewing Boogie Flan that you couldn't even hear our interview because Jonas Adu is back there cracking jokes and everybody's laughing. So it was good, man. I felt really, really strong about it.
Speaking of, I got some breaking news here.
I was going to
say. Look at this. Arkansas gets a new commitment to the Razorback basketball team. It is the guy that I'm going to have you pronounce his name. The Kareem Patel.
I'm going to say the R is silent, but I don't know for sure.
It's definitely Kareem Tail, right?
Dude, the R could be,
or is it retail?
Retail. Yeah, there it is. It's but yes, the Lithuanian, 6'9", 20-year-old.
Got themselves a big man who's been playing pro ball. It's and this is interesting because that name popped up right before we did our show at Alumni Hall before John went under anesthesia, right?
Yeah.
And so immediately that name popped up and we hopped on the stream and everybody was like, who is this guy? What do we know about him? We're like, well, not much. But we obviously went back and did some research after that. This is a really interesting piece and an interesting pickup for Arkansas. Interestingly enough, I was told that they were higher on a different European guy who had just turned out that Kentucky's showing interest in today, but a German kid, big man. But they get this guy, and it's interesting. He had Arkansas with a Final Four of who was it? I know SMU was in there and Penn State, and there was one other school involved in that process. Arkansas lands this dude. He strikes me as a stretch four kind of guy. He'll put it on the floor a little bit. He likes to play one-on-one. He can stretch it. He can shoot the three at his position. He's not 7'2" like Big Z, but he's 6'9". This is really interesting. This strikes me as if you were just trying to comparatively speak to like a role on a team currently or whatever, like Trevin, kind of what he brings to the table, kind of replacement there. So very interesting, dipping into international waters, right? To go and get your first get of the, I mean, this is not even portal season. He's a grown-ass man. He's coming in as a freshman,
And he is going to be a freshman, right? Even though he's 74 years old, still will be a freshman?
I believe that's right, yes.
Gotcha. It's interesting. Is it just going to be his bit where all the news about him just comes out while we're doing the show? Because like you said, we were literally, I guess it was at Alumni Hall where, that whole thing happens, and now here he is committing while we're in the middle of a live stream in Rhode Island. I would prefer for him to time his announcements a little bit better, but I love this pickup. It also makes me think, you mentioned Trevin there. Does Arkansas know something? Like, is that maybe them thinking one of our stretch bigs is probably not coming back?
I think they might just want some more depth.
Yeah.
And obviously they do. I don't know about that. I do know that Trevin has kind of been, I think, the guy that they've had the least amount of a pulse for on, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? What is that going to look like? That was before his role really increased. He started playing so well. It was the last time that I checked in on him. So from that standpoint, I'm not sure. But what I have been told is that they want to have at least one extra body next year in the front court. Right. So whether that's you're replacing guys that you're losing or you keep guys or whatever, they really have 3.5 forwards right now. It's Big Z, it's Jonas, it's TB, and then Adu's kind of a jumbo wing type of guy. And they want an extra body in addition to that. Maybe that's what this guy is going to be. Or maybe they kind of see him developing into an Adu Thero mold, because he does have some perimeter skill. He can put it on the floor. He can shoot it a little bit. Like, there's guard skills there. Maybe they see him as the 4 who could slide and play the 3 a little bit as opposed to a 4 or 5. I don't know. I bet you I asked somebody around that building tomorrow, though, and we'll figure that out.
Yeah, listen, I trust Cal and the type of recruiting that he's trying to do. And, this was somebody that people were on there in the early going, and he's announced his commitment. And I think the timing is perfect. People, we usually try to do around noon Central Time for our live stream events at Arkansas Live, but due to the practices and everything, we had to push it back. And hey, it happens in real time, so we get to react to it immediately.
Maybe we could just say we knew this was coming.
That's right. That's why we waited. Yeah. Forget what I just said.
But I have Joe Tipton's story up here. He's the one that broke the news that Arkansas was interested, and he broke the news that the commitment has happened. Has been playing in Lithuania. He did commit. Okay, it was Penn State, SMU. We had those. Butler was the other school involved. But 6'9", he's 20 years old, and he's been playing pro ball over there in Lithuania. 8.3 points per game, 32% 3-point shooter. Playing against grown men. So it's interesting. It's your 4th freshman. He comes in with Acuff and Thomas and Seeley. And so now I think the immediate question is, so what about Nate Ament?
Yeah, so that's
really
kind of where my brain
5
went.
freshmen, but do you look at this guy as a freshman because he's older than us? I don't know.
Right. I think really when you're building a roster, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, you obviously don't want to load up with freshmen, but I do agree this guy probably is not one that they're thinking of in that context. But there's starting to be less question marks about the roster. We get asked about the roster all the time in the middle of the season, and it's always like, it's tough to comment because you just don't really know. But we're getting closer and closer to that time period where we kind of do know some of this. I mean, we know the 2 talented 5-star backcourt duo. Like, we kind of know the guards. You think maybe DJ could come back. Like, and Billy Richmond, Carter Knox, some of those guys like wings. And so now you add in a 6'9" guy here. You have some, the guys like Trevin that are kind of looming there. We don't know about them. The one piece that we are still kind of missing is just that true big. And so I think for everyone, when Arkansas starts portal season, I think now when you see these other roster additions, you kind of realize what Arkansas is going to need. It kind of makes it a little bit more evident. And of course, this roster is still going to end up being decided by what Arkansas does in the portal, whether that's with a big. They're probably going to go out there and get a shooter, get out a wing or something like that. But the additions that they make, like guys like this, now you start to have a little bit more definitive idea of what kind of pieces they're going to need when they do enter portal season. Because before, it's like you said, every time when people would ask you, it's like, they need everything in the portal. I don't know. We don't know what the roster is going to look like. And so now as it's starting to materialize a little bit, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a better idea on some of these guys currently on the roster. It's starting to get exciting. Starting to talk about next year's roster. Also perfect timing because it gives us, as Arkansas loses tomorrow, well, we're right into roster building season. What do you mean?
Yeah. And just so I kind of felt like Woj for a second. I know he's like the
Woj
GM
Bob.
of some A10 team. It was just like on my phone trying to figure out what was going
Answering
on.
phone calls.
This is definitely a 3-4 type position player than it is a 4-5.
Yeah.
It's like if you're looking at this dude thinking, oh, so this is the guy that's replacing Jonas or Big Z if he leaves or whatever. No, definitely not that. They'll slot him in at the 4, and I think that they feel like there might be some wing potential there. In fact, he is one of those guys who, you remember, who was it that used to do the on the roster online? It was like position all. They would do that, but they have him listed as a wing / forward. So 3/4. If you're filling out your depth chart, put him there.
And that's where we're at in basketball, where a 6'9" guy is possibly a small forward for you in college basketball.
Yeah, that's insane. I guess he's just a commitment, so Cal can't comment on him, right? Like since he's just
it'll probably
unless he's signed, we won't.
Yeah, because I was gonna say if that's something that if Arkansas does win tomorrow against Kansas and we get the chance to hear from Cal on Friday, didn't know if that was something he's gonna be asked about, but probably not.
Ty Richardson will ask. He likes to do that. He'll always ask them about the commit that they can't talk about.
Yeah. Hey, you never know. You never know. He may end up having it out there for everybody. But yeah, nice little pickup and nice little news to have happen here on Inside Arkansas Live. Again, it's a Remember Wednesday presented by Fable FlyCo, which, by the way, folks, if you go over to flyco.com, you'll be able to see all the great outdoors gear that they have. It's fishing, it's hunting, it's everything. And they got great hats and great shirts. And it's a local company that is always out there for great causes. And if you go to their website and use that code HOGSBY20, you get 20% off your purchase. So check it out. They got stuff in the warm wear, also the cold wear. They got it all for all you outdoors people, because I hear that's a big thing in Arkansas, people being outdoors. So we appreciate them and all of that. But, there's a lot of remember wins that came up for me today as far as just remembering in the NCAA tournament and how the approach was. Remember when the internet was terrible for NCAA tournament events? I do, because it still is. Has not changed. And remembering when, like, just having the access, having the locker room, seeing that, because I don't know if you got a chance to see him, Curtis, too, but seeing Rick Pitino out there, like, with his team in St. John's, I was just like, oh, yeah, that's Rick Pitino, like being out there. Hey, that's Bill Self. Hey, that's Will Wade, who's now a coach of NC State instead of the team that we saw him with just an hour before it was announced. So just craziness that's out there, but a lot of remember wins coming for NCAA tournament time.
I'm the Will Wade whisperer.
I was just about to say, remember when you were at a postseason basketball tournament and Will Wade's job status changed while you were in the same building with him?
The last two times I've been in a building with that man, that's what's happened. It's crazy. It's so funny, man, because I know at his press conference right before they went out there to practice today at McNeese is here in Providence, for those wondering, they asked him straight up, like, hey, have you talked to NC State? And he's like, yeah, I have. And then he was out there coaching his team for the 40 minutes of the practice or whatever. And we go into Arkansas's locker room for their thing. We walk out and he's the coach at NC State officially. So it's like, oh, okay.
The way he worded it made it seem like he already talked to him.
Yeah.
And like they already knew. And he's like, hey, I'm going to go be the coach at NC State, but like we're in the NCAA tournament. Let's try and win. But I saw someone, I think Samuel was asking if he's still going to coach. Yeah, he's still going to coach it. He's still going to coach McNeese. My understanding is they know.
Yeah. They knew. They know.
Yeah, he didn't just answer the phone and was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna dip.
Yeah, and then just leave him out to dry there for practices and whatnot for that reason.
Worth noting, though, you've now got a coach who's not the coach at McNeese coaching against Clemson, where he was from, and it's like, if you think he cares about that game, there's no way.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't at all. So, but yeah, it's funny that happens with the NCAA tournament, and we mentioned seeing Cal, seeing Bill Self, seeing Rick Pitino, but seeing a Will Wade. I mean, there's a lot of interesting, unique coaches that are not only just Hall of Fame coaches, but also just coaches. Because even Crutchfield, former Razorback assistant coaches out there. I mean, there's a lot of coaches up here in Providence there's a lot of interest and intrigue coming from it too. So. Even Michelle says Mike McNeese upset isn't looking good right now. Who knows? Maybe they play for him, in this final stretch.
Win one for the Gipper type of vibes.
Yeah. Take that approach out there and hopefully get it done. But yeah, also too, we'll get to some of your chats here in a little bit, folks. But I wanted to bring up and give a shout out to one of our new sponsors here of Basis Health, which is our guy Dre. We love Dre. We love and appreciate all the support that he's given us, and he is an official sponsor here of Inside Arkansas, as well as Pod at the Palace. And tell you, they're changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits at the comfort of your home. Doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. And Basis Health is there for you when you need it the most. So you can learn more at basishealth.org today. And it's a great place. And again, forward thinking, just like us here at Arkansas, Inside Arkansas. We know what we're doing, looking away for the future. So we really appreciate Basis Health being a part of it, being an official NCAA tournament sponsor, and appreciate our guy Dre for making it possible with us too.
Yeah.
So shout out to Dre.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Big time. Overdue. And I'm glad that it happened. Like we always say, we certainly appreciate everybody just for tuning in and rocking with us, and the same thing we feel about the super chats and everything. But you guys help us, and if there are ways that we can help you, we like to be able to do that. So being able to rep the brand here in Providence is good stuff, man. I'm pumped about it.
And it's cool to just Dre started by just dropping the chats, and we're kind of like, oh man, who's this guy? Like we want to, and now he's part of the family, part of what we're doing, and so it's just cool to see that kind of stuff happen. And it's happened a few times now with the chat. And I mean, we always say, hey, it's like a family vibe, and we're all in this together. And it sounds kind of disingenuous, but for real, like, I mean, we talk about everyone in the chat all the time. And now some of them are even like a part of what we're doing, and it's pretty cool, man. It really is.
Yeah. Even Dre says, "Love you guys." Hey, we love you too, Dre. We appreciate.
I love that
man.
the graphic fit just enough to leave just me visible.
I know, because that's what I wanted it for you. I wanted it for you to do that, just so you have to sit over there awkwardly and just like look over at it too. So, yeah, but no, it's great. It's great. We'll get to your chats, folks. Again, it's a Remember Wednesday here, presented by Fayetteville Fly Club. I just like this from. Okay, well, never mind, because we got to get to Logan. It's like, anytime you get the red stuff. Oh. Buttons down there, folks. Don't get any funny ideas. Shout out to our guy Logan for the super chat. It says, "Good day to be a hog," and we appreciate you, Logan.
Oh yeah, it's a great day to be the hog. I mean, we were just in the middle of our discussion about the vibes, and how good they were, and we still got meat left on the bone that we got to talk about from that. Then shoot, the Hoop Hogs get a commitment, and baseball is just absolutely
ass right now. Which, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up, Curtis.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to talk baseball, I'm down to talk baseball. But I just feel like the timing of this whole thing, which is happening right now, it's kind of tough to do a bombastic podcast in the middle of an Inside Arkansas Live, in the middle of Rhode Island. But I did want to just, if anyone is out there talking baseball, we've been keeping up with it. We've been watching it. We also saw Nolan Souza go yard, by the way, which was nice. Arkansas scored 12 runs in an inning. Real nice stuff. Yesterday's game was a snooze fest, so I feel like they needed to come out and put belt to ass a little bit. Good to see them do that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, anytime you can get wins and have all that going, and tomorrow hopefully is another great day for the Razorbacks and being a hog for game against Kansas and everything. But yeah, it's gonna be a good week. It's been a good week for the Hogs, and let's continue to make it a good week. Let's get to see your chats here, folks, and again, we'll have some other things to get into as well. Our guy Quinn coming in with super chat. We appreciate it. Says Lexington, I'm not impressed with so far. Their campus is a 2.5 out of 10.
Attaboy, one of us.
I got to be honest. We can't really speak much to the campus because we were never on campus.
Yeah.
I mean, the arena's not on campus. The downtown area is not. I mean, it's kind of by campus.
The one day we walked by it going to
we kind of like saw a couple buildings. But yeah, we didn't really do much on campus, weirdly enough. But I think Lexington, and someone in the chat said it, Lexington, more of a city than a college town.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Also, a few other chats here. Our guy in Bryce Brim said, ticket purchase. See you tomorrow, 2 p.m.
Love
Fight
that.
check, Hogs by 90. Love it.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Okay, we'll see you there, too. There's a couple Razorback fans watching practice today.
Yeah, there's some out
I was
there,
actually surprised that how little St. John's fans were there watching practice.
Me too.
It's kind of weird.
Kansas had had a decent amount of fans there.
Yeah. Decent amount. There has been, I would say, of all the other fan bases, I've definitely seen more Kansas fans here than anybody, but that's not really surprising. Goes to the Post. Says, if we make an unprecedented run to the title game and lose to Kentucky, what would be your overall feeling? I mean, I guess it would not be fun, but I'd be glad that they make it to the tournament.
I'd have a hard time like being mad about a national title loss. But that would be that'd be kind of cruel.
Yeah, that'd be a way.
that'd be a little messed up.
That's a great question.
Yeah, put us in
Big
a
time.
pretzel.
Would you rather?
Also, shout out to Ghost to the Post, not Ghost in the Post.
Yeah. I don't even know how to answer that question because I don't really want to think about it. That'd be so many exciting emotions only just to get your balls cut off at the very end. Like that's pretty rough. Guy Dre once again says pressure is a privilege.
Yeah,
it's true.
It is true.
Exactly. Word to the wise there. Razorback says, what did y'all eat last night? Well, we were at Snookers. We tried it out.
Yeah,
see how it went, and it was really good. And we're going to be there 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow and Friday. So if you're here in Providence, come out and see us. We're going to be live streamed from over there. It's going to be awesome.
We had a great time at Snookers. I don't want to speak for everyone.
Yeah.
But we had a great time at Snookers.
Yeah. That burger, I'm trying to remember what it was that we got. The
PBR burger?
PBR burger. Highly recommend. Yeah. Highly recommend.
If you like fried pickles, you like that burger.
Yeah, but that is a spear, not with the chips. Yeah. It's a fried pickle with the spear. So
on the burger.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. All right. So again, we'll get to your chats, folks, here in a bit. Let's keep it moving here on the show because again, we got a lot of things to jump into here, especially in the considering that we have so much from today's practice and from also I want to address this first. Going back to the half court shots that they were taking. which coach / staffer had the worst half court shot? Because I have my vote, but I want to see if maybe it was as bad as what I thought it was.
Well, Ronnie Brewer missed the worst.
And that's kind of what I was feeling. I don't want to call out Brew, but I was like, Brew.
Like but he seemed like he might have a shoulder injury or something.
Yeah, that has
he
to.
missed by the furthest. The funkiest was Kenny Payne, but he almost made it because he was just like over the head from half court, and he just goes.
That's like the
just fired it.
That's like the meme of how Jokic does on every possession, where they'll be like Jokic after 23.9 seconds of flawless defense from the opponent. He just kind of throws it. That was the Kenny Payne form.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Also, let's see.
Chuck Martin's look good.
Yeah. Well, he was, as I would even say, now I can't remember his name, but he's like the younger guy that's on the staff. He had a pretty good look at it. I'll have to look it up in his name, but still, point is, Big Z made it, and let's hope that. You know what I'm talking about?
Bruiser Flint's was the worst, actually.
Okay, maybe that's who I'm thinking of then.
Way, way, way off. Yeah.
Okay, that's who. Yeah, that's the guy I'm thinking of. Okay, Bruiser
Flint
Flint
wasn't great.
That's a rough go. That's a rough go. All right, let's keep it moving here on the show, and we know there's a lot of special. Appreciate BetSaracen being a part of it here. And what we're doing, they got all the NCAA tournament specials going on right now, so you better get to betting. And we also have our tournament bracket challenge that's still going on. Some people were asking about if it's still happening, and yeah, you have until, I guess, first game tomorrow to join it. So go to ESPN.com, search for Inside Arkansas official bracket. Hogs by 20, all caps. We try to keep consistent and easy. Just do it that way too. But yeah, check it into that and everything. But how about those that 16 versus 16 seed game last night? Huh? That was pretty fun.
The Hail Mary worked.
Dude, that was was that shades of Christian Laettner type of across the court pass?
About as well as a SWAC school could execute that.
It reminded me of an actual Hail Mary in football where the opponent batted it down into the receiver's hands.
I was going to do it, but since you're getting up here, going to do it anyways. Putting the blinds down because I'm like, dude, this is going to blind Curtis. He's going to have to sit there just burning his retinas with his glasses on and everything. So yeah, I was waiting until to get a moment, but since he's doing it, there we go. Yeah.
But okay, do you remember it was Michigan State, Wisconsin? I think it might have been Brett Bielema and Russell Wilson, and they had a Hail Mary where Michigan State batted it down into the receiver's hands. This play kind of reminded me of it, where it's like you feel like they should have been able to knock down the pass, and they just kind of fumbled it around, and the guy had the ball in the end zone. Basically, got a wide open look from point blank. It was wild.
Yeah,
and we picked the right part of that game to watch. It was on at Snookers, but we weren't really watching it. But we all dialed in for the last 8 seconds.
Yeah, it was awesome. Because it was like the way you want to start March Madness in the NCAA tournament off the right way. And these 16 seeded teams, I don't know anything about them. I don't know who these players are. Or I really care. But at the end, that's what makes March Madness is that type of moment and that type of game right there. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun seeing that. We got people asking about the games from last night, but also the new deal for the new player that just committed to Arkansas too. Also, I wanted this from Gage. I'm talking about justice for Anthony's haircut, dude.
Hey man,
Cal roasted him, man. He roasted him about his haircut in that press conference.
My man Anthony was a little shook afterwards. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
in fun.
Yeah,
but he was just kind of like, dang. I think I got man.
I do think that was Cal's actual opinion. Like I
know 100% believe it.
And I think that's why it's like kind of cool and funny, but it's like if I were Anthony, I probably would have been a little upset too.
It was so funny, man. I was telling you guys, it reminded me so much of when we were at the tip-off tour in Pine Bluff, and him and the late great Bob Holt were having that back and forth, and I was like, "Oh, you were in to Pennsylvania and you flew back to Pine Bluff, and now you're how do you do that, John?" And he's like, "We're the same age," and Cal's like, "We're not the same age." He's like, "Stand up, Bob, stand up." He's like, "We are not the same age," and it was obviously humor and lighthearted, but Cal's so good at staying poker faced on things that you just don't really know.
You're right,
and that's exactly how it was with Anthony. And I was like, "Dang, bro."
I mean, and did you see him interact with his players? Like, I think Anthony should be happy about it from that standpoint. Like, Cal wouldn't have done that if he didn't kind of respect Anthony a little bit. So he should be happy about it. But no, yeah, Cal, that's how he interacts with his players. He's kind of always ripping on them. And so maybe Anthony's just joined the fraternity.
I'll tell you what, we'll just play it so that way everyone has context on this whole thing. Because I think context is extremely important here. But yeah.
Did you get a haircut? I did, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Does it look good?
No, but go ahead.
That's brutal, man. That's brutal.
Didn't hesitate, bro. Did not hesitate.
Yeah. It's no. Straight up no.
Dang.
I mean, I'm kind of I see because we were in the locker room during that time. Because that's how it works, folks. By the way, with the NCAA tournament, and all that. When Cal and a couple players are in the press conference room, they have the locker room open. Well, since everyone can have access to the press conferences afterwards, we always like to go in the locker room to get one-on-ones with some players and everything. So we didn't see it, but I was almost like, I'm glad I wasn't in there. What if he would have said something about me? Be like, "Jeez, is that your face?" You know, golly.
I'd love to get Cal roasted.
I know. Well, that's actually true. Yeah, if you get roasted by Cal, it's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
means he knows who you are and he pays attention to those things.
He knew what his hair looked like before.
Yes, he did.
So.
Yeah,
that's fair.
To be honest, I don't know what Anthony looked like before and after with his haircut. It looked the same to me.
Shaggy-haired lad for a while there.
I am the world's worst about noticing when someone gets a haircut.
I'm like decent at it, I'd say. Like I feel like I catch it whenever.
Well, yeah, because when I was at Alumni Hall the day I got my anesthesia, I remember Andrews like before the show started, "Hey man, I just want to tell you, like, I noticed your haircut." Like I felt bad not saying it. I was like, I'm not saying you have to say anything to me about my haircut. I'm not a girl who's just like, if I, your significant other, where it's like, I got to get my haircut. If you don't say anything about it, then I'm upset. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I guess Andrew does notice about haircuts though, because I'm also not one that notices.
Curtis is the easiest, like just because like, yeah, you get the same haircut, just.
If I get the same haircut, it shouldn't be easy.
No, but it's like
just be.
But no, it's like when you get it, because I also see you so regularly to where it's like when you go, I never noticed it until you get a haircut. And I'm like, oh yeah, his hair was getting a little bit long, wasn't it?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'd do if I
you
saw
got a
Curtis.
Few weeks, probably. You probably got a few weeks before you got.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do if seeing Curtis with a different hairstyle. It'd probably freak me out. I'd feel uncomfortable. That's about it though. I'll tell you what though, Dre, our chatter, and now a guy, our bases health guy, says, I imagine that's how Cal reacts to his son's turtlenecks.
Nah, I think he loves Brad's fits.
Nah. Does he though?
I mean, I think if he didn't like it, Brad would not be wearing that stuff. He would definitely tell Brad if he didn't like it, right?
I mean, I would think so. But again, I don't know the family dynamic there. Let's see. Landon just goes, how big is this R-tail?
The retail
retail pickup by Cal. It's early. We reacted it earlier in the show, man. So if you want to rewind it back. But yeah, it's nice. It's a good one.
Here's my thing on it. And I know there's like, a bunch of people asking about it. There's really not much to go off of here. One, because none of us are tapped in on the Lithuania basketball scene. So it's like I have no context. You know what I mean? Like we can look at his numbers. We can watch some clips. And the clips are probably the coolest part. But he didn't play a ton over in Lithuania because he's playing pro ball, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, so he's playing with legit grown men. It's not like he's over there just, averaging 30 and 12 or anything like that. And there's a ton of footage to go off of. He's been playing pro ball, which is going to be nice for his transition, but it's like it's to anyone that can like accurately predict what he's going to look like in the SEC. I feel like that's really tough to do, and it is that way with most freshmen.
Yeah, we're not going to know about that for a little while. But here's what I will say to people that are wondering about it: John Calipari took his commitment.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I mean, nothing more needs to be said. Right. If Cal takes his commitment, then they see something there for sure. Like they don't take bums.
I mean, they really don't.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes they just don't take players.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've literally seen them just not take players. And so the fact that they took them, that is good.
What's the dude who's getting paid to play basketball somewhere? He's going to get paid to play it at Arkansas. You know what I mean? Like this isn't one of those walk-on editions or anything like that. Where will he slot? I don't know.
Yeah.
I tend to think that it'll probably wind up being he's the reason why you're that much deeper next year than you are this year. Like if that's your 9th, 10th, 11th guy or whatever, you're doing pretty well, I think.
Also, another chat comes in from Gage. He says, any update on Adu Thero movements and favoring a leg? Didn't really see him do anything out there, but he didn't look like he was favoring anything, though.
Adu Thero is not active. He's not playing. He's not participating. He's just there. He's there like I was watching. So nothing really to see there. No, he wasn't favoring his leg. He wasn't favoring his leg 2 weeks ago when he came back to campus either. So But no, he wasn't out there doing anything today. He was in his warm-ups chilling.
Yeah.
Which, like, I hate to say it, you knew was going to be the case. They were not just gonna give us a peek behind the curtain at an open Adu Thero workout necessarily as he's working his way back.
I do have this question. This actually was on our stream yesterday, and I meant to get to it, but I didn't. But since we're talking about with BetSaracen and everything, if there was a team, a lower seeded team in the NCAA tournament in round 1 that you would bet all your money to beat the higher seeded team, and it can be an 8-9 if you want to take it that way, but like, who would it be? Who's would be your biggest bet of like, that's the team I'm putting my money on?
Colorado State beating Memphis.
Okay.
Oh, that's 12-5?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's funny is the 8-9s, I kind of feel good about all the 8s. Like, UConn's an 8 there, right?
Mhm.
Against Oklahoma. And, like, there's not a chance. Like, Oklahoma is not even going to be competitive in that game. I think Creighton might be a 9 seed that I like. So I'm going to take – that's my cop-out answer. Because they're a 9. Louisville's the 8, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like Creighton.
That's a good call.
I like
That's
Creighton.
A good call.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously that's a little bit of it's a very much of a cop out. But I mean, it's a coin flip game. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I will say, since we're here and since they're in the area, High Point, live as hell.
I mean, I was gonna go with the A&M upset.
See, but I'm a little worried because everyone's on that.
Oh, I know.
Like, everybody nationally is on it, and obviously Arkansas fans are all on it. I feel like it just can't be that simple, right?
I don't. Well, see, that's the thing is those are the type of teams though, where I feel like they are that simple because they are that easy. Like, they are that easy to know what they're doing and what their game is. I mean, all it takes is just them not being able to get to the foul line and they're cooked, and that's it. Or Wade Taylor goes out there and shoots 80 shots. And that's it.
He's going to do that.
Yeah. And then he makes maybe a little bit more than what he misses.
Right.
Maybe that's the case, but yeah.
I don't trust A&M at all, man.
No, I don't trust him. That's why I don't have him in there in the first part of it.
I'm trying to think. I felt like I had. Yeah, we hit all the good ones. Like, I picked Drake over Missouri, but I'm not like super confident in it. High Point's definitely live. A lot of people love UC San Diego over Michigan. UC San Diego is less of an underdog against Michigan than Arkansas is against Kansas. That makes zero sense to me whatsoever, man.
Sydney Thomas picked UC San Diego in her Final Four.
Who's that?
She's got Bama winning it all.
Who is that?
She was the ring girl at Paul Tyson, I think.
The only thing I remember about Paul Tyson was Tyson and the
ass
assless
cheeks.
chaps. Yeah, I don't remember anything else about that.
Curtis
never
looked
heard of
so
her.
deeply into my eyes to ask who Sid.
because he
I mean,
truly,
that's the
truly
deepest
wanted to know.
He's ever
He
looked
wanted
into
to
my
know.
eyes. That was crazy. You looked at me like you were like concerned. What was that?
You said it like it was. I didn't know if that was like one of those betting people or.
No.
Oh, okay.
But she got Bama winning it all. I think she went to
Okay.
Bama.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of Sydney Sweeney at the time, but then you said Sydney Thomas. Yeah,
It's all the same. It's all the same like concept, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get in trouble here. Actually, I'm trying to get you guys not in trouble here. I think would be the biggest point of it.
I
But
still don't know what we're talking.
yeah,
about.
just doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't come through there. We'll get to a few more of your chats, folks, here on the show. Let's see. We got David just wanted to know our thoughts on Will Wade. Personally, I feel like it's a dick move on his part, but I'm just a guy.
Well,
Got
here's
it.
the thing.
You got to do it.
Is it a dick move on his part? Because like I don't think if it was up to him, the announcement wouldn't have come out now. You know, like I don't think he's the one who pressed send on the announcement.
Well, he's still coaching his team. Yeah,
That's what I mean. You know what I
right.
mean? He's not doing anything. He's not leaving them right now. And like we were saying earlier, it seemed like he was pretty transparent with this team. Which, by the way, you could give him. You know, like a lot of coaches, it's like, oh, of course you would tell your team you're leaving. Jim Schlossnagle was in the national title last year and didn't tell his team and lied at the press conference. It was like, no, I will never ever go to Texas. And then he was there the next day.
Yeah.
So at least Will Wade was just like, I'm very open with my team. Like they're aware of the situation. Yes, I've been talking to NC State, and now here they like. So I feel like this has been happening for a few days. The announcement just happened to come out
Will
now.
Wade's been saying since he got to McNeese that he would stay there for 2 years, and this is his second year. Like he's been just very upfront about that. He's like, listen, they took a chance on me. I'm not going to bail after 1 year, but after that, yeah, you know. And you're right. Like he was open and transparent about it. His players knew about it. He's still coaching them in the NCAA tournament. And from the NC State standpoint, they can't sit around and wait on him to be done. Like you have to get a coach in place. The portal opens in less than a week. It's a few days until the portal opens and it's roster building time. You need to know who your coach is ASAP. For guys, not only attracting new players into your program, but like the ones that you need to keep. You need to be able to tell them like, hey, Will Wade's going to be your coach. They needed to get it out there, and I think it's I don't think it's that big of a deal personally.
I mean, it really is. I mean, in this
I
era,
understand
where
like on
everyone's moving
the
around.
surface level optics and everything, I get, but I'm not bothered by it.
Also, Grant Patrick says, man, what a story to be if Nelly was to able to take two different teams to a Final Four.
Hey, people forget that list can't be that long, right? Of the people who played on two Final Four teams. I mean, with different teams at least.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe 3 people have done it.
Right. Yeah. That's actually a really good trivia question. That
some nerd on the internet right now needs to come up with the answer.
I was trying to think of somebody who like, I mean, there has to be at least one, right? I would think maybe.
I mean, yeah, I have no idea, but I'm trying to think of like, I mean, dude, there's not that many people that have played in 2 Final Fours, let alone with 2 different teams.
Yeah. Colin also asked, you guys think Providence would be a good place to visit outside basketball? Always wanted to see New England.
Yes, I would say it's a good place to visit. Here's the problem with it though. It's not like a tourist place where it's like there's a bunch of things you have to go see. I'm sure there's like monuments and museums and stuff, but really it's just like I just like the vibe downtown, like the bars that are around there. Like it seems like a good place for this setting. So actually, I want to maybe take back my answer and say you should come here when there's like an event going on centered around it, like this.
I wouldn't even. Just don't call it Providence. Like call it Rhode Island, and then the answer to your question is yes, because then you're around ocean and beach, and then you got the city here, and there's other stuff. And Rhode Island is like, what is it, like 60 miles wide or something? Yeah. So I would say visit Rhode Island, or like make it part of a bigger trip. Like if you go to Boston or something,
you're an hour away from Boston, yeah,
and then you come here for a couple of days or whatever. But I would do that. But the city itself, I don't know enough yet because I plan on doing more exploring this evening around the arena and everything like that. So
yeah, because the game it's 7:10 Eastern time tomorrow.
Yeah,
which threw me off because someone asked what time the game was, and I was like 6:10, and I'm like, no, it's not 7:10 because we're on the Eastern time zone. 6:10 for you Central folks.
Yes, just like I mean, it's going to throw us off. No matter what, because I've been thrown off. For some reason, my laptop didn't change times automatically. I feel like that should be a thing.
My laptop never does for some reason.
Oh, well, maybe
it's been throwing me off this entire show.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's a me problem that I got to figure out. But yeah, that hasn't been too fun to deal with or anything like that. Let's see. There's another chat that I wanted to go on there. Where's it at? Oh, yeah. Ryan was saying Cal's new cheat code is to keep freshmen but have older guys. Sounds like best of both worlds with him.
Yeah, Cal is
call.
Cal has somehow reinvented recruiting to now just normal stuff, and like player development is like the thing where it's like, yeah, like having a guy like Carter Knox. Although I will say he's had some guys like that at Kentucky. He's sneaky been doing it the last like 7 or 8 years. Like PJ Washington. You remember him? He was like a 3-year guy that like kind of evolved at a nice rate. Thero kind of fits that criteria as well. Shibwe, obviously like that. And he was a little bit of a transfer and a development guy. But he's sneaky been doing that. I mean, Ulyss was a 2-year guy. Like he's mixed in the like 2 and 3 year guys with the one and dones. And so honestly, yeah, like I mean, it's changed. The roster construction in college basketball changes so much, but he can do it all. He's done it all. I mean, he's had transfers, he's had returning guys, he's had freshmen. I feel like it's just going to always be a nice little pot of gumbo every year.
Did you see the picture of Shibwe with Mark Pope's daughter?
No.
Okay.
Why? Is it something?
Oh, God.
Do I even want to?
I mean, it's just they were just posing together.
Okay.
She was like, he was, I think, warming up or something before a game, and she was in cheerleader. I guess is she a cheerleader for the
I don't know anything about Mark
Jazz or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And he was out there. Yeah, it was just a photo op.
Oh,
Shibwe and Mark Pope's kid.
There you go.
I shouldn't say older. I don't know. She's probably like in college or out of college or whatever. But his daughter.
She's still his. She's his.
Yeah,
his
daughter.
His kid.
Right.
I'll have to like. No, actually, no, I'm going to look it up. I'm not gonna do that because I'm afraid. That's how you get got in this business.
It's just a photo.
Just a photo. I don't trust anything.
He said Shiba, and I was like, oh yeah, I saw that today.
I don't trust anything at all. We're gonna keep it moving here, though.
I have a chat I want to bring up.
Okay.
And it's this one from Chili Dog Hog. He says, "Why are y'all saying this guy's old? Isn't he just 20? Chad Baker-Mazara from Auburn, he's old. I don't get the bit that he's old, or is he older?
Buddy.
The context is he's old for a freshman. He's a freshman who's 20 years old and has played professional basketball. He's got a little bit of meat on his bones. He's got a little hair on his chest. Like he's old in that context. Like compared to Isaiah Seeley, who's going to be coming from Springdale. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit different than a 20-year-old. But to your point though, in 4 years, if he sticks around, maybe he's going to be a junior that's like 23, overqualified, and you're like, hey, this guy's awesome.
He'll still be younger than Chad Baker-Mazara.
Back
next year.
He cannot play basketball at an older age than Chad Baker-Mazara, and he cheated.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, we can go ahead and do our heavy hitters. Who is the heavy hitter from one of our new sponsors? We really appreciate HD Roofing and Construction being a part of our NCAA tournament coverage. Storms can hit unexpectedly, but apparently it's up there in Northwest Arkansas. It's getting hit like with winds like crazy. So, but be sure to contact HD Roofing for your peace of mind with a free inspection. When you choose HD Roofing, you rely on professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation for all of your roofing needs. You can call them at 501-428-0429 or check them out at hdarkansas.com. Yeah, Ellis, who's your heavy hitter? Because I feel like you were laughing during the whole thing because you're like, it's an obvious one.
Well, I honestly was just like, pulling up the baseball box score, and so I was kind of giggling at myself that just while you were doing that, I was doing that. But no, the guy I want to talk about though, by the way, went 3 for 4, 3 runs today. But Charles Davalon has just been awesome for like 3 weeks now, and he's always been awesome. He was one of those transfers that I thought Arkansas did a good job when they went out and got him. Kind of an upgrade. I mean, outfield was such a weak spot for the Hogs last year. They wasted no time. As soon as the portal opened, they got Logan Maxwell. They got Charles Davalon. They already had Justin Thomas and Kendall Diggs, and they went out and addressed that. Davalon to start the year, I wasn't ever like disappointed with him, but there was going into the Portland series, he was hitting like 270 with like 1 or 2 home runs. Like 1 stolen base. Like he was fine. And I was kind of like, damn, like I was a little bit bummed out, and I didn't want to say it publicly and be like, I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought this guy had a little bit more juice, a little bit more like swagger about him. Since I started having those thoughts, he's been unbelievable, dude. He went through a stretch like during the Portland and ULM series where he like scored 12 runs in 6 games or something like that. He's been just setting the tone at the top of the lineup. He's now hitting 388. He's kind of creeped into this territory with Vahiva and Brent Iredell. Like when you read off all their gaudy numbers with Cahillo and all these guys, Charles Davalon's like sneaky right there. He's got 5 home runs. He's hitting 388. He stole his 4th or 5th bag today. Like he's starting to really be the guy that I thought he was. He's a draft eligible sophomore, by the way. Speaking of age, he's a draft eligible sophomore. And so coming into the year, he hit 288 at Florida Gulf Coast. I was kind of like, are we sure he's like a for sure draft pick? The way he's playing, he might be a 1-year hog. But if he's a 1-year hog, it means Arkansas got some damn good production out of their leadoff guy, which is what they're getting. That's my heavy hitter. And Nolan Souza hit a 700-foot nuke today. He's always my heavy hitter.
I was gonna say, if you went through all that and you'd have mentioned your boy hit 450 feet, like
that would have been rough.
That's good. I mean, there's a couple different ways I thought about going with this, but I'm actually gonna go with Jonas Adu as my heavy hitter today. It's because he's he is the big man on the Razorback basketball team, but every suspicion I had about Jonas Adu being the class clown on the team, the vibes coordinator to a degree on the team, all true. First of all, he's a great interview.
Yeah, he was.
Might have been the best one that we had. I mean, he did a really good job, thoughtful answers, big old smile on his face, but the dude cracks me up consistently. And, the NCAA tournament, we talked about how, is Arkansas going to feel tight? Are they going to feel the pressure? Are they not? And something I mentioned on the pod at Palace is I want to know who's going to take the job on the team of being the dude who keeps everybody loose, right? And it's one of the guys who's been there, done that so many times at Tennessee, and Jonas Adu. And he was hilarious, man, out there at practice. I thought his energy was really good. There was one point, me and John were standing beside each other, and him and Carter Knox got into this back and forth. And I was like, oh, what the hell's going on? Like I thought they were like about to fight. I was like, oh no. And then I realized they were just kind of giving each other crap, and it was playful, and they were shooting free throws. And they were just kind of going back and forth at each other at, who's going to make, who's going to miss, whatever. And Carter Knox gets up to the free throw line.
I can't believe you're telling this story. I really,
this is great,
the
dude.
closer we're getting to it.
He's getting ready to shoot his free throw, and Jonas started calling him a snapping turtle.
Yep.
Started saying he looked like a snapping turtle, and it broke Carter, and he missed the free throw. And it was absolutely hilarious. And then Kenny Payne was getting in on the bit, and he was messing with Carter. It was very lighthearted and upbeat, but Jonas Adu is the man. That dude is hilarious. It was just absolutely cracking me up, and he's my heavy hitter for today.
Like, how do you recover from being called a snapping turtle?
I don't.
And saying you look like a snapping turtle.
I don't know.
Like, I don't think he could have recovered. But yeah, that was outstanding. And because it kind of was one of those things where you thought, yeah, they're messing with each other, right? And then they kind of wrestled up a little bit. But it was just funny, as we've seen in the Vice documentary a little bit of Jonas Adu and his unique personality, and then we've seen some other examples of it too. But yeah, the last today was just something where watching him just made me laugh. Not that he was necessarily, I don't know, using to be funny half the time, but it was just because I think you were over there with me, Curtis. He was shooting a three right as the little buzzer sounds for the next segment of the practice or whatever, and he like hit it it doesn't go in, but it almost goes in, and he just screams as loud as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't say anything. He's just like, no! It's like, okay. And then he just ran off. It was just like, it wasn't a scream of even like, oh man, I missed that. It was just like, he just wanted to scream.
Some people can like throw their voice a little bit to where like it's obviously coming from their mouth, but you feel like it's coming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And he was doing that at the very end of practice. I think it might have been Chin Coleman. Like, how it is, like, practice is over, we got to clear a gym, like, forever. And then you could just see Jonas like speaking.
Don't worry, we're still here. That was my bad. Yeah, that was my bad.
That scared me. I was like, I don't know. I don't think I did anything.
That was me.
But what I like about Jonas is that, obviously, one, he's been playing really good basketball, which helps us as a fan base, as people that cover the team. It helps us kind of fall in love with him and appreciate what he brings to the table. But even going back to, I think I keep thinking about when we were in Lexington and Cal was just talking about how much of a privilege it is to coach Jonas. And at that point in the season, he hadn't done anything on the court. Like, we had no reason to, we actually were all, as a fan base, pretty sour on Jonas Adu. And people kind of get anytime someone gets paid a lot of money to play, they get a lot of criticism. And so people always kind of view it through this lens of like, oh, him and Nelly, they're not playing good basketball. It's because they don't care. They're just here for a check, blah, blah, blah. And people always kind of forget that these are real human beings. Like, they hang out with these guys every day. He's hanging out with Carter Knox every day. Like, these are their friends. They're college kids. Like, they are just dudes at the end of the day. And so it's like cool to see not only like some of these guys dispel those narratives like Jonas Adu, who clearly is not just here for a paycheck. Same with Nelly Davis. I feel like he's safely avoided those allegations. Same with Boogie. And so it is cool because, I feel like we take up for these guys a lot, but it is cool to see that just human element of these guys that, we really, outside of the Vice documentary, don't get to see a ton of. And I think that's been what's the coolest part about this season and this turnaround the last couple of months is we've gotten to see a lot more of this team's personality, and they got a great personality.
Mm-hmm. Cozy, I guess you need to finish the story because that's when I deleted the thing that just was happening. I know I just killed you.
Did you exit out of the tab?
No, it was one of these things where I have this. I usually don't do the streams from my own computer, so like I was checking something and I hit the back button instead, and so I just backed out of it. So I'm a professional guy.
I thought I was done. I think I lost my train.
You were pretty close to done.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Just wanted to make sure.
If anybody has any questions about what it was,
moved on.
Yeah, it was only like 8 seconds though, right?
Yeah. If that. And everyone's just blaming me for it. It's fine. It's fine. People got their own story and everything. But as far as like my heavy hitter, I will say though, no one saw this, so this is just so random. But I'm gonna throw it out there anyways. When we were at the practice, there were these three. I guess it was three cops. 3 cops. 2 of them in full-fledged uniform, and the other guy I think was maybe working security. And they were over there in the corner, and I get a tap on the shoulder, and in the most stereotypical Northeastern accent, this cop's like, "Hey, you mind taking a picture for us?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." And then they were jabbing each other the whole time because this one guy did not want to get the picture taken. They wanted it to where they could get the whole court. I don't know what they said half the time at all. I could not understand what they were saying, but they were just wrecking each other. They were ripping each other and like roasting each other, maybe is the best way of doing it. And it was just the funniest thing I saw of the day. They just were talking about, how he looked, his uniforms. Oh, he's the boss over here. He gets paid the most over here, like just stuff like was just awesome. And then I saw him after you had left, Curtis. I saw him and I was walking back down. He goes, "Hey, the photographer over here, man. What's up?" He's like, "This guy took a picture of us. This is a great picture, man. See, I knew you were a pro. I saw you walking around with your tripod."
Yes.
He's like, "You're a pro." And I was like, "Thanks, man. I tried." And he's like, "Nah, that was a good picture, man. That was a good picture." I'm like, "You are spending a lot of."
That was a good picture.
Yeah, like it's like he really went on and on and on about this picture I took. So I was like, "Thanks, man. I really do appreciate it." But it was just the most funniest thing ever. Is like that. We always hear about the Northeast. Not everyone's always the friendliest, which we've run into some people that aren't exactly the most approachable, hospitable people. But then you got guys like that guy, or like our Uber driver when we were coming over here from the airport or from the previous Airbnb. That just really nice guys, really loud and obnoxious, but in the most endearing way.
Dude,
Yeah.
our Uber driver, which John, I got.
Wow,
I mean,
man.
should I just come clean about this?
Yeah, you should.
Ugh.
John, I didn't ask the guy to pick you up. I punked out. He was, like Curtis said, this
So
dude was
you
massive.
lied to me?
I did lie to you, but also it made sense in the moment. Curtis agreed with me. The guy was large. He was massive. And I was like, and he had to U-turn and everything. And I was like,
mad.
there's no way he's going to. And plus, I feel like it is like Uber drivers hate that shit. When you're like, "Hey, I know you're picking me up, but can you also go pick up my friend?" Even though we were pretty much on the way there.
He was very intimidating.
I just assumed he was going to say no. And I made the wrong assumption. I'm owning up to my mistake here in front of the internet. I made a mistake, and I'm sorry, John. And
he
just
wound
for
up
that,
being the nicest guy in Providence.
no, and he was the nicest guy in Providence, who went to school with Brad Calipari and knows all these guys, or didn't go to school with them, but kind of knew. But yeah, like played basketball at some D2 school. Yeah, he was massive. He was a large guy.
Well, glad to know. You could have just said almost like anything else. Just be like, "Hey, man, we didn't ask. He looks scary." And I would have been like,
You
"Okay."
could have just been like, "Yeah, not gonna happen."
Yeah, like you could have just done that.
Hey, it's not going to work out.
But
with
when
the
you're
Uber.
saying like, "Yeah, I asked him," he just said, "No, man, sorry." It's like I just assumed. I was like, "All right, well, that's the way it goes."
Well, I will say, while it wasn't on me, like I didn't tell the lie. I was
You
complicit.
confirmed.
I was complicit in the activity.
I looked at Curtis because I was texting you, John. I was like, I'm just going to tell him I asked it. He said no. And
I
he
was
was
like,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
Well, that's all right. I got an Uber myself and rode over here. So you're just gonna owe
you have a nice
$12.
driver?
Well, I was going to say,
He
just
seemed
for that,
nice.
John, I won't make you, pay for the other Ubers that I had to take.
Okay, that's a deal.
All right.
Because I did have to send Ellis back to the Airbnb and back to the arena to grab something for me. So so all's well that ends well.
Did it with pride,
Good
too. man.
times.
Yeah, all's well that ends well. Jeez. So, anyways, but I'm glad we could settle that
one
up.
more heavy hitter.
Yeah.
John Fanta.
He is there at Providence.
John Fanta was there, and if you watch my Boogie Fland clip that's on Twitter, you will hear John Fanta. He was doing a live hit, and he was talking about St. John's, and he was like, "Oh, in Arkansas, who's practicing right behind me?" He is very loud, but he is the most. I mean, he's like a cartoon, but in real life. I mean, just big
Yeah.
Peter Griffin vibes. It's just it's almost like he's not even real to see him in person. But definitely a heavy hitter, John Fanta.
I mean, some of these, honestly, like, we don't get starstruck that much, really. And I wouldn't say we were starstruck with him, but I just mean, like, in general, like, you see a lot of people, but it's always cool. Like, there's some people that you see that don't look as cool in person as they do on TV.
Mhm.
And that's always your big fear. And I feel like that doesn't apply to John Fanta. Like, he looks
Yeah.
like John Fanta.
He does.
I just felt like he was, every time I see him, I think of him screaming about the Big East.
Yeah.
At the NCAA tournament. Like, I see a very loud guy. A very loud guy.
Do y'all agree with this assessment here from Colin? He says John Fanta, the Brian Windhorst of college basketball, except a lot more tolerable. Listen, give Wendy his respect, though. Wendy's the man. I feel like they actually, weirdly enough, have like different like lanes a little bit.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Like Fanta's a little bit more of the happy-go-lucky vibes guy. Windhorst is starting to take himself a little bit too
Why
seriously.
would they do that?
He's starting to take himself a little too seriously, but he's earned the right. I mean, he's been crushing it for 20 years.
And he lives in Omaha, Nebraska.
Windhorse does?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all remember that time Windhorse was like, he was like, hey, big trade here with Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to let my colleagues at ESPN. I'm in Italy. My wife's considering divorce, and I need to tend to this or whatever. Do y'all remember? It was like the day of the free agency or something like that.
Yeah. Again, that would have been another case of just maybe say something different than that. You know, you didn't have to be too honest.
You don't need to let us know.
Yeah, just say you're in Italy, and that's it.
But speaking of John Fanta, by the way, I guess we should go ahead and like brag about the fact that we're doing a show tomorrow from the same location that he's done his show before.
This is right. Yeah, this is true.
I know we got a lot of Field of 68 fans out there. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask this Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by Alumni Hall, because it's going to piss people off. But you go to Alumni Hall. If you go to neither, it's in locations there in Fayetteville at 3417 North College Avenue, or if you shop them online at InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall, if you use the code HOGS by 20, you get 20% off your purchase. Got all the great Razorback gear that you could possibly want. And I know that a lot of people are dealing with the weather now over there, but it's a great spot. You can get it shipped directly to your door. And it doesn't even matter if you're in Arkansas or not. If you live in California, which you have a lot of listeners there, have a lot of listeners up here in the Northeast. I don't know if they deliver to Croatia, because we had some Croatian listeners yesterday and viewers, but you can try. But either way, Hogs by 20, use that promo code to get 20% off your purchase. Is it going to be a failure if Arkansas loses to Kansas tomorrow in the NCAA tournament? Will this season be considered a failure?
Yes. My expectation was to get to the tournament and win a game. If they get to the tournament and not win a game, it's a failure in my eyes. I understand the context, but I also don't care.
Okay. I can't argue with that. But I would say no, only because, and I said this yesterday, the one thing you couldn't do was not make the tournament. And Arkansas didn't do that. They avoided that. Will it be a disappointment? Yes, it'll be a disappointment, like just in general. I mean, you don't want to lose a game. I still think it would like make me look back at this season not fondly. It definitely wouldn't be like a successful season just to make the NCAA tournament. But I think there's a lot of room between success and failure. And I feel like it would be right in between. Like if they just made the tournament and then just lost to Kansas in a game that they're kind of, underdogs to do. I don't know if I'm going to go call it a failure, but I definitely can't call it a success.
I had people on my neck all year about the moral victory thing. I ain't hearing it. Win a damn game.
It's not a moral victory. It's just a moral not loss.
It's not a successful season, but it's not a failure. What are we saying?
Steven, that's the thing. So then it's like, I think there's room to not succeed, but not fail. Like it was just a season that happened. You know what I mean? Like next year, like for instance, say you're a team like Mississippi State, who like your expectation is to make the NCAA tournament. They make the NCAA tournament. They don't win any games. Like that's not a fail season or a successful season.
Okay.
I'm kind of leaning on the way of I expect them to win this game. And if they lose it, I'm going to be upset and frustrated and feel like it was a waste. I'm like, you got back to the NCAA tournament when all was lost. You played your best basketball. You got Boogie Flan back. You got time and rest and everything. You got the setup. You got a matchup that actually favors you. And for you to lay an egg after all of that, to me, would just be such a waste.
Yeah. I mean, look, you say lay an egg. I think also, like, if they get blown out, like if they lose by like 17 tomorrow, if they do what Mississippi State did in the tournament last year in an 8-9 game, I would actually be a little bit pissed. The one thing I will say to kind of agree with you guys, even though I don't really agree with you, is that losing tomorrow, what it would do is put way more pressure on next year, where no matter what seed they are, even if say they're a 4 seed, then it's like you have to get to the Sweet 16. You have to get to the Elite 8. You got to make a run. Whereas I think like if they win a game or two this year, you still need to make the tournament, still need to win a game and all that. But it puts a little bit less pressure on it. If they lose tomorrow, I think it would definitely rub some. I mean, there would be a lot of fans that definitely agree with y'all. I mean, who's to say like who's right in this? But it's like I think tomorrow, if they lose tomorrow, it would just kind of put a damper on it. But I don't know if I'd call it a failure.
If they lose tomorrow, I don't want to see anybody's booties puckered about all the narrative of John Calipari losing another first-round NCAA tournament game. I don't want to hear anybody upset about it.
No.
I don't want to hear it at all.
Because that's the whole thing is, if he loses, then what do you fight back with? Like, what do you say? Well, we did this that time.
You got to hear that. Like you say, it puts more pressure on next year. You got to hear. You're just gonna have to hear it from the end of the day tomorrow until they get back and hopefully not do it again.
Here's what we can agree on.
I'm not here for
Here's
that.
what we can all agree. It would be in Arkansas's best interest to win the basketball game they are scheduled to play in tomorrow.
That's a good point. Didn't think of it that way.
Are we there?
But now that you say that, yeah,
we're there.
It would be convenient for us, definitely, like us and our self-esteem and just our ability to deal with the chat.
Right. Daryl, I know who they're playing tomorrow. And I also know that the people who have this narrative about John Calipari don't give a shit who they're playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
They don't. They didn't even care when he actually did win an NCAA tournament a couple years ago. They've erased that from history.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people are, I mean, how many times did Cal get dunked on this year?
I mean,
how mad were we the entire year about that narrative, even when they started figuring things out? Hell, we got to the end of the day on Selection Sunday, and there were still reputable people in the national media that were like, oh, Arkansas, I don't know. It's going to be close. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm seeing it. And we think that all of a sudden, just because they lost to Bill Self instead of somebody else, that's going to go away. It'll be on steroids.
The internet's going to be mean to us, definitely, no matter what. But definitely, I mean, I agree with that from that sense. And a matter of fact, Curtis, you've kind of won me over because, and kind of agree with your point, John. You're right here. You've done all this work to get here, and you've kind of already made some people shut up because there were people doing the victory laps a little too early. So to y'all's point, like if you win even a game this weekend, you've got a lot of ammo for the BBNs that are in our chat, all the time. Although I'm not seeing them. Are they a little? I don't know. Do you think they're a little nervous going into the tourney, low key?
I think I've banned
they should be
all.
nervous. They should be nervous about Troy. To Daryl's point, they should be worried about Troy.
Yeah,
interesting. Well, I mean, not everyone can beat Troy. I mean, we know Cal can, but not everyone can.
Yeah, but again, it'd be different if this team had started off hot and was great and then teetered off a bit. Like I'm not saying Auburn's not going to do anything, but I'm just saying Auburn has definitely not played as well recently than they were going forever. And that has Auburn fans doubting. Now, Arkansas has been the opposite where they start off awful, but then they started playing their best here recently. And that's, I feel like, what gives me more confidence is you can't, I know it's been a roller coaster of a season, but you can't go through what you went through with all the stuff that kept going against you and these injuries and all that to get to this point, to do all that you did, to beat the Kentuckys on the road, to beat that Vanderbilt team on the road, to beat Mississippi State at home in that must-win type of game, like to do all of that just to go home on a Friday. A Thursday, I guess, technically, because
we won't be going home.
We won't, but they will be.
We'll be right here.
Yeah, they will be, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't go through all of that and then expect me after if they lose to Kansas, be like, well, golly gee, that was. I love the boys, love the kids. They gave it their all. Yeah. Like, I just can't do that.
I'm only passionate about it because I don't want to deal with it.
Well, yeah,
I don't want to deal with the downfall that would come from it. I don't want to have to do the thing where I've got to acknowledge, like, yeah, all the Kentucky DJ and Z and Cal, like, yeah, they all got another opportunity and they failed again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nelly Davis and Jonas Adu, who've been coming around. It's like, oh, those guys were the two highest paid in and out. We'll start the pocket watching again, and they didn't do their job. I just don't. Oh, Trevin finally got his first opportunity in March Madness and he lost. Like, I just don't want any of that part of the narrative to happen because this has been too cool down the stretch here. And then the vibes today, it just doesn't feel like this team is supposed to lose tomorrow. Not yet.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. But we do have some built-in excuses kind of there. I mean, Thero's not playing. I mean, that's the heart and soul of this team. I mean, at the end of the day, Boogie Flan's not really playing. It's.
Well, I'll say this too. I'm just used to every event I go to in the NCAA tournament is a second weekend. That's what I'm used to. That's what Kurz is used to.
I see.
So it's like we just can't do that.
See, now I don't like the way this is going. I don't like the way you're framing this.
Because it's going to be your fault. I mean, that's why you don't like it, because if they lose, Margaret, see what happens when we bring Ellis.
You and Curtis were not coworkers the last time Arkansas was in the NCAA tournament. I mean,
true.
This is true.
It's true.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
We don't look at it that way. That's a different way of looking at it. We're going to look at it the positive way, because it's positive vibes only today on the show.
If they lose, I won't do it's because Andrew is here. I'll do it's because Scotty's not.
That'll be it.
Yeah,
what
we
I'll
should
do.
blame Scotty.
Yeah,
We should, since Scotty makes us have to answer for him all the time,
Yeah.
we should make Scotty have to answer for this tournament
I
loss
think
tomorrow.
so. That's what we'll do,
that's fair.
guys.
Yeah, y'all go tweet at him for a change.
Yeah.
Start doing that.
People act like we lock Scotty in a closet and won't let him come out, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Heartbroken Hog, appreciate the super chat. He goes, John Calipari and Arkansas basketball both have 6 trips to the Final Four. Is this a sign?
Maybe.
Sure.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even realize that. I know both have 6 Final Fours, but it's not just something like, hey, both of these put together,
Let's
connected.
get our 7th together. 7th is a very what's the term I'm looking for? Is it like a lucky number? Or it's like a holy number, right?
It's the they call it the perfect number.
The perfect number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So big in Harry Potter. I know that.
Plus Nellie Davis. We really, by the way, we had some people in the chat that were researching that were like trying to find people that have done 2 tournament or 2 Final Fours with 2 teams.
We get some.
They didn't find anybody.
Oh.
Now I'm not saying those guys are the end all be all in terms of research, but we have not. Nobody has proven us wrong that Nellie Davis will be the first player to take 2 different teams to the Final Four.
That'd be crazy. I guess his like if Michigan made it or if Florida made it, then his teammates will have done it.
Yeah,
this
that'd be
year.
messed
Yeah.
up.
That would be crazy.
Dusty,
No, it
dude.
needs to be Nelly, man.
I kind of forgot about the Dusty May aspect. You know how much I've been tooting the Michigan horn? I completely forgot who their coach is.
Are you
Damn
out?
it, dude.
You-
I just wish I hadn't gone on such a public limb and being like, yeah, Michigan's not losing to UC San Diego.
You let me trump card Michigan past Auburn.
Yeah.
You could have double trumped me with Dusty May.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, Dusty May sucks, dude. Why did I do that? Damn. All right. Michigan will be fine, though. They're definitely not going to the Final Four without Nelly.
Yeah,
No.
you're saying Michigan's not?
No.
Or okay.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Dusty May is going to lose to UC San Diego, and it's going to prove that Nelly carried him to that Final Four.
Jeez.
He just forgot to do it the next year.
Yeah. Wow.
We have a few minutes here left on the show, folks. We appreciate your patience with us in our live streams. I know it's kind of chaotic right now, but we just want to make sure we get all the great content for you as much as possible. So, but tomorrow, once again, we will be. In fact, I saw somebody ask the question here in the chat. The Canadian Razorback says, "Where are all the Hog fans getting together tomorrow in Providence?" Hopefully at Snookers. Yeah, at 1:00 Eastern time, because that's where we're going to be. We're going to be live streaming Inside Arkansas Live from there. It's an awesome spot too. So yeah, hopefully, if you're a Razorback fan and you're out there, if someone's asking you, let them know. Snookers. Right there in Providence. It's going to be a lot of fun to be out there in it. Let's see. You got a couple playing games tonight, but one going on right now, American and Mount St. Mary's, not the one in Little Rock, but 22-20 now. And then you got an SEC game tonight with Texas taking on Xavier. You think the run comes to an end for Rodney Terry tonight? Finally ends it?
Yeah, I think Sean Miller is getting ready to beat his soon-to-be team.
Good.
The clock
Unity
strikes
team.
midnight. I guess that doesn't really apply in this situation because neither of these teams are Cinderella, but that's just a term I like to use
Okay.
this time of year.
All right. Well, corner BetSaracen 2.5 for Xavier. So I like that.
Oh.
Like those stats there
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
By the way, have you guys ever done maybe for this parlay for the tournament? Did you guys put one in at all?
No.
Okay. I did. I have a 9-leg parlay.
Wow.
9 leg.
9-leg.
Just for the first weekend games?
Yeah. Because I look at it as I'm going to put these teams, like these are teams I picked in my bracket. So why not put some little bit of money on it? I mean, it's not insane, nothing crazy. But
Next time you want to do it, John, just let me know. Venmo me and I'll put it in for you.
Venmo you and you'll put it in for
Yeah.
me.
I'll put in your 9-leg bets from now on.
No. Why? Because you're good at it? Or because you just want to? Or you just want to see it go missing and never see it again?
I'm saying you're wasting money on 9-leg parlays, so you might as well just send me money.
I know but I bet $2. It's not like I'm, throwing a lot of money at it. It's just for fun, for funsies.
Just for funsies.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So that's why I like doing it. Like this from Heartbroken Hog says, I don't care what time y'all go live as long as y'all keep being awesome. Well, we'll do our best. We will try, but we appreciate that, Heartbroken Hog. Thank you. Anthony Easton says Luke Hancock played for 2 different Final Four teams, George Mason and Louisville. So there's one,
Wow.
I think. So did not know that?
and Kingsley followed up with there was another guy that was in the 70s, and he had said something about it earlier, but he said that the guy played in 2 Final Fours, and I was like, I didn't know if he meant like 2 different teams, but apparently there's been some people that do it. So For all you haters and naysayers out there who are disputing our report about Nelly Davis being the first ever 2-time Final Four participant with 2 different teams, I hope y'all feel good about yourselves.
Also, hey, shout out to Quinn. Guy Super J says, I got a parlay going on too. See?
Yeah.
Now I'm good company.
I didn't get a 9. Like I did a bunch of 2 legs, just nothing crazy. 9 legs, man.
Anthony Easton says I was wrong about Luke Hancock. Apparently it wasn't. All right. Well,
So all we need now is Kingsley to be wrong about his guy.
yeah. Maybe it's never happened. Happened. I just laughed because we just went through all the things. Like, actually, never mind. I was wrong. It's okay. Luckily, we never say anything wrong on our
Apologize for
shows.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah. We never have that happen. So,
ASAT, relax, man. Relax, buddy. Relax.
jeez. That guy. Also, Quicks just says, I guess it was Bomack. He says Lexington is not a college town. Is a city, not a college town, which is
That's
true.
fair. Because I enjoyed my time in Lexington.
We said that while we were there.
Yeah.
That's the exact vibe I got. I agree.
Yeah. Colin wants to know who's y'all's Final Four. I can't see less than 2 or 3 1 seeds in there. My brackets have a lot of chalk.
I'm definitely very chalky. By the way, Colin, we did do a whole selection show, the 3 of us. So we have like an official Inside Arkansas bracket. You can check that out. We even clipped it out. There's like a separate in the videos tab there. But in terms of our individual ones, I guess y'all will find out tomorrow when the bracket challenge starts officially. But I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I have all 4 1 seeds in the Final Four. I'm that guy,
I will say one of the only times when I was a kid that I won the bracket challenge in my family is when I just went chalk the entire time. And my brother was really pissed by that at me.
I mean, here's the thing.
It's like, sorry.
Early, you definitely want to have the upsets picked. But, like, when it comes to, like, you can't whiff on an Elite 8 Final Four team. And if you're going to try and really win the bracket, and so I'm like, But I also really do think, like, there's just a gap between the top 5 or 6 teams and everyone else in college basketball. And so I just feel like the cream is going to rise to the top for the most part.
Fair enough. All right, we're just about to wrap up here. I wanted to ask this. This could be a poll question before we get to our final thoughts. What should we eat tonight? Style food. Because I haven't eaten today. I don't think Curtis has. Andrew, did you eat?
I ate.
Okay. Well,
I was not about to just not eat today.
I understand. So what are we thinking? I mean, do we do Italian? Like, do we do pizza? Maybe some Mexican food? Seafood? Like, what's the vibe? What should people? What do the people think we should do?
I always like a good chip and dip, but
See, I do too.
Everywhere we go, people are like, "Oh, Italian, man!"
All the recs we got Italian around here.
Maybe we need to get a pizza. I don't know.
See, that's why I was kind of feeling a pizza.
I'm down.
We almost did pizza last night and didn't, and now I feel like we kind of need to.
But we may.
I saw a place on the internet
that has pizza.
There is a place that does have
heard
pizza.
about it. Yeah.
I was trying to see if did Dave Portnoy do any pizza reviews here? Because then when we were in Lexington,
I'll look.
Okay, yeah, but say we were in Lexington, and one of the most famous pizza reviews where the manager kicked him off the doorstep was in Lexington, the one we went to. So we got
a place. It was like Providence Coal Fire or something.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's downtown. Yeah.
The pizza looked phenomenal.
I was actually by there.
I don't know if it's got the scene that we're looking for, but
yeah. I got it. And I also real quick, I say so we love our friends over at Snookers, but it is so funny where they were looking at the menu and giving us a breakdown, and there was one of them called it was like a
Texas.
It was like a Western burger.
Yeah.
And they're now this one is they apparently do it down in Texas where they have barbecue sauce on it with some onion rings. Apparently they do that. And it was
she's like, I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's
every single restaurant we've ever went to has this option.
Yeah.
This is the most bare bones. Like, you got to have a barbecue burger.
But again, it just shows you the difference in cultures, man, because it's probably they think that's wild and crazy, but yet we're like, it's just another Sunday for us. But yeah, we may have to go to the pizza route and do it that way. Real quick, John Penn says, how do I join y'all's bracket challenge? I tweet out a link, but if not, go to ESPN.com, type in Inside Arkansas for the group, and it'll be out there. And promo code's Hogs, or the promo code. Yeah. The code is Hogs by 20. I'll tweet it out again today, so that way you make sure of it. But yeah, we'll do that. But
all caps.
Yes, all caps. Got to make sure that's established. All caps. All right. Well, any final thoughts, guys, before we get out of here and stuff our faces with good food?
Tomorrow's gonna be a good day.
Going to be a great
that's
day
my final thought.
to be a hog.
Yeah,
I'm still reeling a little bit from you guys shooting me down on this being a failure of a season if they lose tomorrow, but I'm going to get over it eventually, and I'm excited to eat some food, and I'm excited for tomorrow as well. I think it's going to be a good day, and I think we are going to, we're gonna leave here with some ammo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're leaving here with something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, we are going to be going and talking to players and coaches for the Arkansas Razorbacks in interview form on Friday. That's how, we're going to do
our
that.
Mindset.
We're going to have more fun and more videos. We're going to have the Patino versus Calipari crazy drama that everyone's going to be overblowing so much, but it's going to be fun to talk about and get hyped for. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen tomorrow night at 7:10 Eastern Time, 6:10 Central Time on CBS. You'll have it. Of course, we'll be doing Inside Arkansas live at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 o'clock noon Central Time at Snookers. And don't forget, Pot at the Palace postgame. NCAA Tournament Edition is going to be happening as well. And where is it at?
Oh, Union County Brewing.
Okay.
Union Station Brewing.
Station Brewing.
Yeah, definitely Union Station Brewing.
Great.
But it really is a 6 spot though. It's right. It's like a 5-minute walk from the arena.
There you go.
You go down into this little area with some stairs, and they got a little upper deck spot, and
Okay.
We're feeling good about it.
All right. Any final thoughts other than those things?
I feel like we already gave our final thoughts.
Just making sure it got lost in it. But either way, we appreciate each and every one of you listening in, watching in to here to Inside Arkansas. To be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas on YouTube. You can follow us on social media at Inside Arkansas. Check out our website, InsideArkansas.com. We got it all going on with your full NCAA tournament coverage. We really appreciate all of our sponsors for making it possible, whether it's Basis Health, HD Roofing and Construction, BetSaracen, Alumni Hall, all the great sponsors that we have right here on the show. And don't forget to remember Wednesday, presented by Fayetteville Flyco. Head over to fflyco.com. Use promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. So for Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, John Neighbors, same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at Snookers in Providence. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you then.